Hey guys, welcome back to another What If here. Today we are doing part 6-2, What If Naruto got a second chance but as a girl remake. And well, if you want to know what happened in the last part, you're just going to have to go and watch it. And because if you're new here or you've forgotten what happened in the last part, there's a link down in the description down below which will take you to a playlist where you'll be able to watch part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, well, obviously this part 6 and any other future part. And also, if you watch all the way through to the end of the video, at the end screens, the end cards, one of them will be the playlist as well. Anyway, also guys, I've somewhat can't exactly wait for you guys to watch next week, like maybe Monday, as I've got a what if idea I want to try out Monday and see if you guys like it. And yeah, so that's why this may only be say 30-40 minutes long, as yeah, it's going to be kind of hard not to throw ideas from that what if into here by mistake. Anyway, let's get into this one. So a week would go by from when we last left them, as Husen, when they'd left the office, had told Kakashi, Zabuza, Naruto, and Haku, who is a gal in this what if, that Team 7 as a whole will be having a week off, so they can do whatever they want. Though Naruto looked at them once they'd left and said, "Can we use that week to train?" Which Kakashi, Kakashi was fine with it, and what's his name, Zabuza and also Haku, both of them were also fine with it, as they could obviously be able to spar with Naruto and obviously Kakashi, to both of them to better get to know their two somewhat probably teammates. Now, just probably will be a group and will probably be a team for who knows how long, probably for the rest of their lives. So yes, yeah, and well, yeah, during that week, they'd somewhat Naruto had mastered her fire element, or at least mastered level 2. She was halfway through learning it when they went on it on the Land Waves mission, but now she'd finally got it down. And also Zabuza had also started to teach her in the art of Kenjutsu, and she'd somewhat taken to the katana. So yeah, they'd also done some kind of nighttime sparring as well, and well, yeah, all of them had realised Naruto, she had the better night vision out of all of them. If they were say gonna go in the night tracking down maybe a team that needs backup from Konoha, that let Naruto find their chakra signature and follow her, because it'd be a lot safer. As for one, obviously she can see a lot better in the dark, and as such, anything say up ahead, where maybe say Kakashi and Zabuza may kind of stop too late, she'll be able to stop in say time, or warn them in time to not crash, or whatever. And yeah, doing one of those training nearing the end of the week, at night, that had kind of vanished from the eyesight and had slowly eat inwards, though Kakashi and, well, all three of them had seen and could only see two glowing eyes, one violet, one blue, and it was slightly glowing, very little, as Naruto had then somewhat channeled chakra to her eyes, as her eyes went slit-like and would glow, and would just glow bright. as well, yeah, and she'd obviously, as it'd be somewhat a spar, well, mock battle, there'd obviously be also somewhat leaking killing intent to recount one another, and well, with her, without seeing her body and just seeing her eyes, her slit-like eyes, and the bloodlust she was leaking, it freaked all three of them out. As, well, yeah, if she was just, say, maybe 40, 50 foot tall, with two obviously glowing eyes, it'd be like the fox. Yeah, because she could see them very much clearly and could see somewhat they were scared, though she'd stop jumping to her eyes, reverting them back to their round pupil. Round pupil, and because her eyes had dimmed but were still slightly glowing, she'd walked forward, and it then almost immediately kind of pinched her nose so she can smell as well. She'd go, "Jeez, did you just poo your pants or that?" As Kakashi and Zabuza would just look at one another before pointing out to one another, and Naruto would then saying, "Did one of you or any of you end up peeing yourself as well?" As this time Haku would somewhat blush as Naruto go, "I think you should go and get a change of clothes before we start up again." They'd somewhat nodded. No, this would be at the beginning when they'd tried the sparring at night. Yeah. And yeah. Anyway. Though yeah, as I said, kind of training thing over. Currently Team 7 Team 7, so Kakashi, Zabuza, Haku. So Kakashi and Zabuza, Kakashi being the main one in charge, Zabuza being second, as they're both Jonin level, both Jonin A rank level. And obviously Haku and Naruto both somewhat ranked Genin, but both being actually Chunin level, nearing borderline low Jonin. So they were both high Chunin, low borderline. Somewhat were maybe in another month or two they would be low Jonin level Shinobi. And yeah. And yeah, that though Kakashi was just about to open the door as an Anbu would walk out and go, Kakashi-san, Team 7, Hokage-sama wishes to speak to you. They would just all look at one another before Kakashi would nod and go, okay, sure, we're heading that way anyway. So they would enter and they'd all be wondering, why did Hizen call them precisely? Like, did he have a mission for them that would perfectly fit them, or did he call Team 7 as a whole in just more so to ask Zabuza and Haku how they were getting on in life in Konoha? Anyway, after a couple of seconds they would enter Hizen's office and Hizen would go, that didn't take you that long. As Kakashi would go, well, we were literally just outside the tower Hokage. Sama will come near to hopefully do a C rank if possible. Hizen would go, how about one better and a B rank instead? They would look at him and a bit surprised, and Kakashi would go, and why are you giving us a B rank mission, Hokage-sama? As Hizen would somewhat sigh and would go, well, you see, of course, when you should come back a week ago, team seemed like somehow teammate fan out. Two missing somewhat two, or well, yeah, I'm missing in an A rank mission in walking around the village. Well, obviously with you, they are going to obviously find out. I should not remembering. Well, he was the one that told Ku and I about the mission to the land phase, and that was the one that brought Zabazar back. Yeah. Anyway, and well, yeah. Of course, one of them wasn't happy, as Naruto would then say. What's his name? Kiba, right? Kiba, wasn't it? GG. He was only just not say. Yeah, you're right there, Naruto. Naruto-chan, you're right there. He wasn't exactly happy that as he would somewhat hold up his hands, the dead last would do funniest. So he'd somewhat chuckle. Of the year had gotten a C rank mission, so they'd somewhat he'd demanded it, and I told him, well, how about you do some, obviously a certain amount of D rank missions. Like, how about you do some D rank missions, and I'll think about giving you one if you don't complain about the D ranks. And that's what they did. And well, this morning I gave them their C rank mission. Everything was going somewhat fine, though I'd felt a bit off. As Kakashi would go off for Kage-sama. Well, yeah, you know how I kind of said, obviously, like, this was almost the perfect mission for you two. They Naruto and Kakashi would just nod. Well, it's because I felt like the mission was calling that for you. So that's why I gave the mission to you, because it felt like it was calling for you, like it would reject almost anyone else. If any mission could reject someone, but yeah. And well, once I wasn't getting that kind of rejection feeling from this mission, from giving them this mission, it felt like something was going to go wrong in that. Well, yeah. Though, and like 2 or 3 hours after they'd gone, yesterday when they'd left, I'd like an hour or two ago, we'd just received a message from Kunai asking for backup, as this mission had been upgraded from a C to a B rank. As they would just somewhat nod, as Naruto would go, well, wouldn't it be smart for a team to come back, because aren't they only like tracking, like aren't they more of a tracking team? Who's somewhat would nod and would go, well, you'd think that as well, as obviously I could understand you and Kakashi carrying on with a rank mission, as you both are more frontline fighters. Naruto, you're probably more well-rounded, and Kakashi obviously has war experience, and I was more than fine with obviously carrying on with an A rank and not requesting any backup unless it had been up to an S. They'd nodded, and obviously to Zabuza and Haku, it showed just how much trust that the Hokage had with Kakashi and Naruto. And well, obviously with Kakashi, Zabuza being in the village, Kakashi and Zabuza were both the best joining in the village. Kakashi somewhat eking him out, but that was only because he had the Sharingan. But yeah, otherwise they were both somewhat the best Jonin currently in the village. Unless Jirai is in the village, then of course it would go Jirai, Kakashi, Zabuza. Anyway, yeah, Kakashi would then go twist him and go, well, what do you think about it? Do you want to take this mission, yes or no? Nato would somewhat shrug and go, I don't mind, Sensei. Zabuza would shrug, not really caring. And they'd look at Haku, and Haku would go, why do I have any say in this? As Kakashi would then respond, well, you all are part of Team 7, and say if you didn't want to go, of course you've got medic nin training. You've got medic nin training to do, so if obviously you didn't want to go, you could obviously stay and do that. If Zabuza obviously didn't want to go, then an army would be set out to watch him. Well, I didn't want to go, then obviously you three would have went and I would have stayed back. Or if Naruto didn't want to go, us three would have went and she would have probably stayed behind. Well, no, we all would have went still. We would have just had to drag her kicking and screaming. Naruto would just put her arms under a small chest, a small AA cup chest, and we'd just huff. Yeah. Kakashi would chuckle like that, and Haku would go, well, I would somewhat like to go, as it somewhat is kind of nice doing the medic nin training. I still would very much like to do this obviously mission with you, so it would be our first mission as a team. They would all somewhat nod, and Kakashi would turn around and go, well, Hokage-sama, Team 7's on the case. Hizen would just nod and return to the mission. The scroll over. Kakashi would turn to them and would somewhat open it and would read out the mission details. For winding it back up and looking at them going, well, did you all pack for at least a month or something? And go, good, well then, let's head off. Kakashi would turn back and go, well, I guess we'll see you possibly in a month or so, Hokage-sama. He would just nod and say, well, be safe and try and come back in at least one piece. Kakashi would somewhat just nod, and they would then head off towards the gate, and after signing out they would then they would then obviously go, knowing that she'd probably gotten quite far. As they'd somewhat stay, they'd firstly walked somewhat out of the village a little bit before stopping, and Kakashi would go, well, Naruto trying to obviously feel like they're chocolate if they're close enough. Naruto would just somewhat nod and would close her eyes and would concentrate on expanding her sensory ability to its max of 60 kilometers, and around say 55 kilometers. Around 55-56 kilometers should get teammate. As you'd have got them as they'd somewhat not go how far they are precisely. 57 kilometers out, roughly. Or at least that's obviously where I can sense them, though as we get closer, my sensory ability will become more accurate. They would somewhat, you guys would just nod and they go, I'll lead the way. and Naruto somewhat would, as they would jump through tree to tree. And yeah, of course they'd ended up obviously taking breaks and that, and well, yeah, they would of course also stop for dinner, but after they'd had dinner, they'd almost immediately went back to running instead of tree hopping, as it was starting to get night. And instead of setting up camp and trying to obviously make it there in the daylight, they weren't somewhat screwed. Naruto was somewhat in the lead anyway, so with her somewhat eyesight, she'll be able to, with her better night vision, then she'll be able to more easily warn them of upcoming things. Plus, obviously, her sensory ability, so she could obviously, if anyone enters her sensory range, she would immediately know. And yeah, so they'd keep on running, and by the time it hit midnight, they'd arrive. Well, yeah, they'd arrive at Kunai, well, their somewhat camp where they'd stayed. Where they'd somewhat set up camp to wait for backup. And yeah, and Kakashi would look and would say who's on watch, and Naruto would go, no one, though there's a genjutsu over it, so I'd presume Kunai just placed a genjutsu over it. Kakashi would somewhat just nod as well for him and for for Zabuza and Haku. There was nothing there; it just looked like tree line. Though once obviously they heard that, all three of them had kind of done somewhat release the genjutsu, and yeah, they'd seen it kind of shimmer before, showing them a somewhat peaceful camp. And Kakashi could literally somewhat sigh, as he'd told Kunai, and so did Asuma, that you should always have someone on lookout. And yeah, she had no one. Heck, even she was in bed, and she was joning, for crying out loud. Yeah, even if they would be kicking and screaming, you just had someone on lookout. You never knew what would happen. And yeah, and obviously it would only take someone like Kakashi, Zabuza, or Haku or Naruto to come out and to come up silently and wipe the entire and kill them all. They would never have known. And yeah, though the natural known herd was rustling of leaves, as they would all look at Naruto, and Naruto would just somewhat would quirk her eye and somewhat would narrow down her my sensory bit to mind's eye of Kaguya from 20 kilometers, and shrink it down all the way down to roughly maybe 1-2 kilometers, and which would boost her more. Well, her accuracy was already pinpoint within 30 kilometers, but narrowing it down gave just a lot more detailed, a more detailed image in her mind. So instead of saying this person you want is right here, it pretty much obviously said more accurately where it is, and obviously like any animals or that, where they were. And yeah, and well, yeah, she'd then just somewhat sigh and go and would look at Kakashi and go, that all, to what I can sense, they're from their chocolate, they're all asleep, sensei. She would really just sigh then. I'd think that, yeah, as he'd go, well, It's not go well, so how are we gonna do we just go in and, plant a small, like, a explosion, like a explosive tag in the middle of that camp, walk back here and let it rip, and throw them into alarm? As Kakashi goes, that's a bit mean. Naruto is like, well, it teaches them a lesson to not have anyone out on lookout. As Zabza would go, she has a point. The brat does have a point, Kakashi, because even I'm not that stupid to, obviously, just go to sleep in the middle of the woods. Like, sure, we may still be in fire country, but it's still a risk that obviously you're playing with. Kakashi would sigh and would go, well, go on then, Naruto, you have a go. She would, and within seconds she would vanish out of their eyesight and would completely erase her, pretty much erase her presence, her scent, everything. It'd be like she never existed, and it just walked straight into the camp, placed a kind of explosive tag. Not really that dangerous, as well. Yeah, it was more sound than actual explosive force. Yeah, it's more to act as kind of an extreme, on the extreme case of an alarm clock. Yeah. If obviously somebody tried breaking in, it'd someone go off, obviously freaking the person out, and they would obviously go somewhat tone deaf for a couple of seconds, as obviously the noise would awake a ton of people up, and would obviously bring Armbu to the location and would wake her up, and she'd obviously be more than ready to protect herself from whoever the intruder was. Main reason why she made it. So it did very little damage, very little kind of explosive damage. Heck, the only thing the seal did was kind of turn itself to, well, it somewhat the seal itself would would make a little explosion, but no real damage would be done from it, besides from just black marks. But that'd be it. Anyway, yeah, she'd come back as she'd somewhat be behind, all three of them, as she'd go, done, as all three of them would jump and would turn around and go, don't do that. How many times do I have to tell you, Naruto, to not sneak up on us when you pretty much go into stealth mode? I should go, yeah, whatever. Anyway, ready, as Zamzad go, what exactly will this tag do exactly? I've never seen one like that before. What exactly will this explosion tag do? Will it? It's kind of a creation. It's kind of my own creation, and it's more noise than actual damage, as I somewhat made as an alarm. I should explain what I just said. Should tell them what I just said. I told you guys. And after that, they'd nod and she'd go, well, she'd then activate it, send chakra to it, as it would. And truth be told, it did very little damage. It wasn't really that bright, but damn, was it loud. Yeah, it was incredibly loud. Yeah, and they knew it was coming, and it still made them jump. Yeah, of course, Team 8 would immediately like Kuno would be out there in seconds as she'd went to sleep with her clothes on. Kiba and Akamaru would be somewhat tone deaf for a bit, as it was somewhat loud enough that it woke them up, but they couldn't hear anything right now. So yeah, they'd somewhat come out yellow, practically shouting. Yeah, of course, Hinata had also drawn out and activated the Byakugan to see who was around, though she wouldn't really spot Team 7 as they were far enough away that she couldn't see them or the chakra signatures. And so obviously Shino would come out, and they'd all come out kind of in their nightwear, besides all of them, all of Team 8 would come out in their nightwear, and the people coming from the caravan would be obviously somewhat frightened, as Kuno would immediately somewhat before she could tell her team to obviously find them, she'd hear somewhat a voice behind her going, "No need to, your backup has arrived, Kurenai." As she would immediately jump and turn around and go, "Kakashi, what was that? What was the noise? What?" "Well, that should teach you and your team a lesson. Never, and I will repeat, never ever have no one on watch. You always have someone on watch. Got it?" He was lucky that tag that, yes, replaced, was simply a one that just made noise and not any explosive one, because I'm pretty sure one of us could have easily placed an explosive tag on each one of these texts, and that's it, you would have gone dead. Kiba, of course, wouldn't hear nothing, as all it'd hear is ringing. Him and Akamaru would just hear ringing. And yeah, as they would somewhat he'd somewhat shout, "What did you whack?" As both kind of Kiba and Akamaru would fall to the floor unconscious, as Naruto would go, "Jeez," they were getting. Everyone would just look at her and she'd go, "What?" They were shouting, it was getting on my nerves. They'd somewhat just nod, though. We'd say, "Well, can you have done it another way?" As Kakashi would go, "Well, any other way and you wouldn't have learned your lesson now, would you? Now, all of us have just got here, we've been running since the morning, so we're going to sleep, and one of yous is going to stay up, and if we wake up and there is nobody on watch, yeah, I'm going to be reporting this to Husen, and you are probably not going to be getting any C-ranks anytime soon from this carelessness. And Kuno, you're Jonin, you should already know this, for crying out loud." As you just hang her head down in shame. And yeah, then she'd remember, "Hey, but I had a genjutsu over it." As they would just look at one another, "So what? The road doesn't just randomly end in a forest, Kurenai." As she would just sigh. That was true. Yeah. Oh well. Anyway, with that, Kurenai somewhat decided to stay up. And though Naruto would kind of we'd look at her and we'd go, "Though, why you all are somewhat in your night where you do realise obviously you could have been attacked any time and should have been at least in some type of more, say, comfortable sleeping in a more, say, in your uniform, as Naruto would somewhat stumble out that it was somewhat more comfortable to sleep, obviously in nightwear, not in the shinobi outfit, and Naruto would just go, well then, why don't you make a shinobi outfit that is comfortable to sleep in? Like, yeah, use all of them clans, which means you have money, which means you can buy more comfortable clothes that are good to wear for sleep when you're on C rank missions, CBAS rank missions, because yeah. Anyway, yeah. After that, Team 7 would quickly set out their own camp on the other side, as as Haku had volunteered to take obviously somewhat watch, and the Kakashi would shake his head and would go, no, I will. As she'd try and argue, though Kakashi would just look at her sternly, and she'd somewhat back down and go, fine. And yeah. And so, Naruto and Haku would shout and both being girls. And yeah. Anyway, the next morning, once everyone was up, and teammate were dressed into their ninja outfits, Kunoichi and shinobi outfits. Well, yeah, shinobi outfits. They'd obviously packed up their tents after eating breakfast and went back on the road, as Kunai would explain to Kakashi what. Well, no, she'd wanted to only explain to Kakashi, though that was kind of stupid. You don't just tell one person and, like you would explain to your entire backup team, like the entire backup team, what happened, not just one person of the backup team, and to obviously what to expect. So after being forcefully told to explain to all of them what had happened, which she begrudgingly did, and yeah, after explaining, they'd then would head off, as and while the somewhat mission for the most part would kind of go without a hitch, or up until they'd be an hour away from where the mission were to end, as then the bandits and B-rank missing Nindat had attacked them in the beginning, though had somewhat fled and had come back, though this time the B-rank had somewhat missing Nindo had called upon some of his other buddies, so there was some C and B rank missing, none really any higher than B rank. So it was no A rank mission, just B rank. And obviously Kiba was somewhat flying high in his own mind, thinking that his team had a B rank hack. Naruto's first mission was Naruto's first somewhat unofficial, first somewhat mission was, funnily enough, a B rank, which was Mizuki. So yeah, her first ever mission as a shinobi of the Hidden Leaf was a B rank. She had one-upped Kiba there. Yeah. And then of course then of course 100 D ranks later, she then did a C though Kakashi obviously he told her and she remembered the land race was an A rank mission, so it was first obviously B, then up to an A. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. Though at seeing somewhat obviously Kakashi and Zabuza, they'd known, or they'd obviously heard of Zabuza, the demon of the hidden mist. And yeah, they'd somewhat paled in to see that he was now not just a missing nin, but a Konoha nin, and working alongside Kakashi Hatake, the copycat nin, and A ranking bingo book. Yeah, they'd somewhat paled slightly. Maybe they'd bitten off more than they chewed, though. The somewhat boss had rolled them back up, saying that there were more of them than there were nin. Though Kakashi would somewhat roll his one physical eye, or his only visible eye. And yeah, they would somewhat charge at them. As Kakashi, some wouldn't even bother really moving, as Kakashi would go Naruto and Zabuza would go Haku, deal with them. As both would go yes sensei, in unison, or somewhat kind of run ahead of them. As Haku doing doing ice. Doing wind techniques, as there was no water really anywhere near, so she couldn't do any ice techniques. But lucky enough, Naruto Kakashi, of course, Kakashi and Naruto taught Haku to do some wind techniques. So wind style vacuum bullet, wind style great breakthrough, and also kind of Naruto's own kind of twist on the vacuum bullet, which was just multiple vacuum bullet. So it was just making kind of it was just making more than one vacuum bullet at a time. So yeah, so you could hit 2 targets at once instead of just hitting one target in one breath. Anyway, yeah, and the B ranks were really nothing to do them. So there may be, for Haku, they were somewhat a bit more challenging to the fact Haku generally used her ice, but due to the fact there was no water anywhere, she couldn't really draw. Due to that fact, she couldn't use her ice anyway, so she had to use the wind techniques, which she wasn't that great at. But yeah, training obviously with Kakashi and Naruto had got her somewhat she'd gotten the control over her wind a bit better, which had increased her control over her ice that much better. And after that they'd somewhat come back, looking like they just hadn't fought 5 to 6 B rank missing nin. Yeah. And yeah, of course, team would just have their mouth on the floor. How strong is they were just somewhat thinking, how strong is Team 7? And of course, Kunai would be wondering, truly, how strong is Naruto? Like, they were B rank missing nin, which even gave obviously Kunai a hard time, though she was somewhat well, she wasn't exactly an A rank in the bingo book. She was more, I think, around the B rank due to obviously being a mainly focusing on genjutsu. But if you can easily dispel genjutsu, then she's a D rank. She's literally getting level. Maybe low tuning in like in hand-to-hand combat or that, but these are obviously B rank. They can easily overpower her in hand-to-hand combat, and that as B rank would be somewhat high, say high tuning, low joning, and A rank nins are around somewhat mid to like high, somewhat mid joning, borderline high joning, and S rank. Well, A ranks are around high joning, and then there's S rank missing, and then there's S ranks which are Kage level. So yes, after somewhat of them defeating that team, the bandits and that, at seeing just two girls take on kind of 6 B rank missing-ins each without breaking a sweat, they had turned tail and had ran away. Kakashi hadn't really bothered running after them, trying to kill them, because it was pointless. Their boss was dead, and they'd be useless for quite some time. And they'd walk back and they'd somewhat look at one another and go, well, Naruto would say it was somewhat set for the both of them, and she'd say that was boring. And they barely put up a fight. Kakashi would somewhat chuckle and look at Haku would go, well, it was more of a challenge for me, as I've never really used much of my wind affinity, but they could have still put up more of a fight. It didn't feel like they were even a B rank. It felt more like they were getting like C ranks, maybe even D like C rank missing-ins. They didn't feel that strong, and as well understandable, they were low B rank missing-ins. So both Kakashi and Zabzan knew Zabzan knew. They both somewhat knew that those two would be able to handle themselves against 6-on-1 plus. Naruto generally trained alone like that, with making 6 reinforced shadow clones to do 10, 12, 20 on 1. Obviously going somewhat slightly more and more into the extreme numbers, or fighting more and more people against herself, but she wanted to be able to obviously be able to fight without relying on a technique which would easily be able to decimate 1,000, if not million, in somewhat short of one go. And of course, she also somewhat, she didn't exactly, she'd also somewhat train also in that technique. But and after that, an hour would go by and they would reach where the caravan would somewhat set up shop in the next village. Wherever they were somewhat going. And they'd looked at the time and they'd obviously figured they'd be able to somewhat make it back to Konoha within a good obviously their slowest getting in pace, probably 2 days, maybe 3. And yeah, with that they'd headed back. And yeah, 2.5 days later, 2.5 days later, they would arrive back in Konoha as, they would report back on the mission, and obviously, when Kunai was obviously saying her report, she'd obviously say that, obviously, Kakashi and, Zabuza had sent their, obviously, Naruto and, Haku pretty much against, against 6 missing in each, but suicide that would have killed them if they didn't miraculously come out. Hiruzen would somewhat look at them, and they would both just look at him and go, "What? We knew they could easily take them on." And Hiruzen would somewhat just nod and would obviously ask for Kakashi's report, and Kakashi would obviously tell them from obviously when they'd obviously say somewhat, obviously when Naruto had somewhat found them, and obviously found them with no one on guard, and that she'd use the kind of tag that made more noise than explosive. And and obviously he had also told Hiruzen about him reprimanded all of Team A about not having one of them on guard watch at night. And Hiruzen would look at Kunai disappointedly, as she was obviously sure she was a fresh Jonin, but she obviously tuning, tuning, she would have done, obviously they stayed up at night and should have known this was normal. How could you forget? And and simply just saying, "Oh, I placed a genjutsu," that didn't mean anything. Obviously, as if there were any good with that connection with that tailed beast, if obviously Jinchuriki came along, then they would have been killed, and obviously Naruto could have easily put her own kind of explosive tag, which was an amplification explosive tag, which meant more choppers she sent to it, the bigger the explosion, the more powerful it was. So she could pretty much use the tag to even make itsy bitsy tiny explosions to explosions big enough to wipe an entire, elemental nation off the face of the planet, if she had that much chakra to do so. But yeah, and that's probably And anyway, after Kakashi had finished this explanation, he would nod, he would give, he'd obviously tell Team 7 that they would be dismissed and that they had a 3-day break before they would be able to obviously request any missions, to go on their break for 3 days. And he looked at them, and I mean an actual break, no training. Obviously be taking only D ranks from now for somewhat would think and go, maybe do 50 D ranks. Well, with obviously having 4 teammates, they could probably get 50 done maybe within 5-6 days, maybe a week, so instead of 2 weeks, maybe a week, maybe even half a week. But yeah, they didn't exactly want to do 50 D ranks, so Team 7 had just somewhat nodded before they'd headed off in their own directions to obviously go home, get washed, and to just sleep in their bed. though, who'd look at teammate and would go, "I'm disappointed in you, Kurenai. And yeah, you may be a fresh Jonin, but what happened to obviously all the experience from your Genin and Chunin days? You should have known this was standard protocol. And I don't care if you tell me, oh, but I placed a Genjutsu. So what? They clearly easily dispelled it. What is stopping anyone from doing that? Sure, it may have been some bandits and a B rank missing in, but bandits may not be able to dispel Genjutsu, but B rank missing in, even some C rank missing in can dispel Genjutsus, and B and A rank will more than easily dispel ones, and S ranks it won't even affect. Kunai would somehow have a head hang low, and Team 8 was just, the other members of Team 8 were just staying quiet. They didn't exactly want to bring the Hokage's anger onto them, and to be honest, they didn't really. Obviously, they didn't know. No. And yeah, anyway, with that, I'm going to end this part here, guys. So, if you did enjoy this, tell me in the comments down below. And, well, yeah, guys. Stay safe, have a good day or night, depending on whenever it is for you. I don't know, I'm getting tired. Anyway, guys, stay safe, have a good day or night, and good bye. Good bye.